Oh, this is so good I shouldn't even bother go outside anymore. I'm Andre, and this is not a Friday flying update. That's right, I got some new stuff to test very soon. No, I wasn't flying, but you know, hey. Actually, this is from the HAMSWAN, I think that's how they pronounce it, HAMSWAN group. They have some items on Amazon, and they contacted me after I did the Mavario glasses and said, hey, you're interested in trying some virtual reality stuff. So this is coming. It's one of these rigs where you put your Android or your iOS enabled device into it, and you get your full VR experience. It's got some pretty neat features, so stay tuned for that. Let's get on to the rest of the update. So, no, it's not Friday. In fact, it's Easter Monday. I had been super busy throughout the week, and by the time I got to Friday, I was just paved and said, nah. And, you know, like Thursday, I got home from a long road trip for work, and James and I watched Star Wars, and then Friday, I was just a complete write-off. I was just too tired and didn't feel like presenting a video in that state would do anything. So, yeah, you look at the bench and you're like, hey, there are a lot of wings. So, Apex V2 from TBRC, I always put S in there for whatever reason. The Defiant 28 from Defiant Wings. This is the Sweepwings Flinch, which is going to be my 4S monster. And then this guy is the TechOne 900mm sent to me by MotionRC. Again, another 4S monster. Some really cool stuff. Obviously the Juggernaut, which we know, and the VAS Video Aerial System Chimera, which is the flight test infamous aircraft. It ate a copter. So yeah, the wings have been under, you know, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to them, I guess. So Saturday night, Martin came over and we were going to look at some of the 3D printing planes, and I decided to, let's glue this guy. And we just got into it. Now, Anthony from TBRC, got it right this time, suggested I try this Lepage, depending on your linguistic profile, low odor contact cement, and it worked great. I mean, this thing is awesomely glued together. Now, what you do, if you look at my social media, I was showing examples. You literally apply a coat to both surfaces. You know, we kind of put one on, mapped them together, and then reapplied. Wait 30 minutes, and then apply another coat, and then after that, stick them together. But the results are impressive. Now, this is set up since Saturday night, and now the next phase will be sparring it in, putting all the carbon together, and then laminated. And that is the whole reason they're out. I want to fly my wings, so I decided that, you know, the next phase will obviously get all of them sorted and ready for lamination, and I want to do it all in one process together because it's a lot of work, and it's one of those things that it's a hang up I need to get over with and just get onto it. And you know, and I'm learning a couple of things, like the technique that Ruben talks about using Gorilla Glue is good, but as I was sanding away, I'm taking chunks out of my wing, which it doesn't really matter. Once you paint over it, you won't see it. And structurally, I mean, once these things are set up, they're like incredibly strong, and then once you put the laminate in, they're all ready to go. So I'm close, and it's just a matter of putting in the wrench time, if you will, to get them going. And I do want to fly all of them this year. These two guys will be my lighter 3S ships. The Apex 2, I'm going to go as light as possible. In fact, I've, you know, set up my FPV, or selected my FPV equipment already. That's a, you know, that's a 25 to 200 milliwatt, 72 channel, little tiny thing. I got a little 5-volt Beck circuit in there, and that's driving, you know, my little Runcam Swift Mini, or Mini Swift, depending on how they say it. Interesting factoid I learned. I really like those little 200 milliwatt, the TL's 200s from Banggood. You know, they're 40 channel transmitters, but their video output, or the power for the video cameras, is only 4 volts for their board cams. If you want to run anything else, where is that camera? Here it is. You know, this is your standard 177 type camera. That's a 5 volt. And so I was testing away and I'm like, why am I getting voltage? So I had to go in there and I put in, you know, I grabbed a 5 volt and 12 volt circuit, and like all this wiring is rough until I'm satisfied with the layout, and then I'm going to go in and everything's going to get clipped. Anyhow, I put in a power board, distribution board, and that drives 12 volts to the transmitter and 5 volts to the camera, dedicated. I'll put my LED lights on, everything. And this is all the equipment that's going to go into the Defiant 28. Somehow, obviously, it's got to be cleaned up. That's pretty cool. That's their nose. That's their camera module. And that'll go in after everything is done. Cut that in, you know, position that where the behind or in front of the spar, but it lines up with the nose profile, and you get a nice solid shape. In fact, I'll probably print that off and make one for the Apex. There's some really neat features about this aircraft. I mean, look at that nose, that tailpiece. Yeah. You can get away with that because you're running a smaller motor like a 2204, so the heat is less, and you know, that'll run really well, and it'll keep that nice and small. So again, 3S 500 to 800 milliamps. Probably going to run my 13s on this guy. The Sweepwings Flinch is going to be a 4S race spec wing kind of thing. You get this monster. And the only reason this guy hasn't flown is by the time I got it set up, we were into snow season. And it is a really awesome wing with some pretty cool features. You know, that breakaway setup, magnetically clipped and everything. So if you do get a little funky, you're not destroying everything. But that cage system, you know, I run the risk of, you know, destroying, or not destroying, but getting a lot of water inside there. So with the snow and everything. So I've been waiting for the better weather to come along. So I can fly it and enjoy it, and it is pretty slick. I mean, it's a good aircraft. Obviously, I've well documented my build on the Juggernaut, or the lack of a build, I guess. This thing is almost ready to go. Put in the servos, line everything up, apply some paint, apply some laminate, and it's ready to go. Again, big 3S ship. It's going to run on some of my larger 3S batteries. Oh, and there goes the Chimera. But the Chimera has lived through worse. Obviously, this is the plane that took out the copter flight test. I've been goofing around with it. It will probably see 3S set up, and I will most likely run iNav in this thing and get it going. Obviously, it is the biggest ship that I have, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to do it justice and just do a nice restoration job on it and clean it all up and really just enjoy them. And then I think that's just one of the points I decided while working on these wings, is it was just time to work on them and get them all going. So there we go. 3D printing wise, a couple other designers have contacted me. I will put their links into the description for this video, and there are 2 other very different style aircraft. So I'm building them up. I got some other PLA colors to play around with. I do want to try Pet G eventually, but I'm waiting to use up all my stock, and I'm so glad to be done printing gray. Speaking of which, the Spitfire is almost ready, and I've seen photos of that Corsair. It looks gorgeous, but I think the Spitfire will keep me busy for a while. I'm almost ready to do gluing on it. I've got just all the main critical components are done. Look at the canopy. That turned out really sweet. I'm actually going to do an open canopy style and put a little, you know, mascot guy, pilot in there. Look at that motor mount. I'm going to do the boiling thing on that, and we'll get it going. So the next thing I got to do this week is swing by my local hobby store, pick up some more CA supplies so I can start gluing together all the sections of the wings and the fuselage, and then it won't, you know, the plane won't live in a box. It will live with the rest of the fleet, and once the grounds are ready to go flying, I'll go flying with it. I'd hope to go flying this week. Obviously, as I said, it is Monday, not Friday, so it's not much of a Friday flying update, but it doesn't really matter. I never get to go flying. I'd hope to take out the Avios Grand, not the Grand Tundra. I'd flown the Grand Tundra a lot, but I wanted to take out the Bushmule and fly it on skis on the snow before all the snow went away, but it just didn't work out. So maybe later on this week, because we are starting to get a lot more daytime light into the evening, I should say, which is fantastic. So there you go. Happy Monday, Easter Monday to all my fellow Canadians who are off on this stat, or most of you, I guess. Friday. I'm off. It's going to be another busy week. There's lots of stuff for me to do that's not hobby related. Next Sunday, or this Sunday coming up, the 8th, will be the RC After Hours 1 year celebration podcast. In fact, today, the 2nd, marks our first, April 2nd, 2017 was our very first show, 001 for the RC After Hours. So tune in this coming weekend to find out what we do and who our guests are. We're lining everybody up now as we speak, and it should be pretty fun. Flight Fest, Ohio. I've started doing a lot of the work for the volunteer stuff, so that'll be coming out as well. And I think we're going to simultaneously launch the registration for Texas, so people can start getting their plans together for that. Of course, that's much, much, much later in the year. So, enough of me talking. I'm Andre. It's not Friday, it's Monday, but thank you for watching. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you this weekend.